0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver podcast. It's the fastest, it's the friendliest, and it's for all the family. The Gas Shocks 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup are the fastest growing race series in the UK, taking in 6 one-hour races and 8 sprints at all the top circuits. Visit 116trophy.com to find out more and get yourself behind the wheel. From a pot of tea to TT motorbikes. From a classic English breakfast to a full serving of classic cars. Bridge House Tea Rooms is the Northwest premier classic car meeting location for cars, bikes, tractors and owners clubs. So no matter what your automotive appetite might be, visit Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms on their Facebook page or call John and Alicia on 07980 444 221 for show details and to reserve your own table and parking space.
I'm sat at Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms, not exactly the first venue you would think of as a major motoring venue. But, courtesy of today's guest, John Wright, the tea rooms and its grounds have suddenly started to play host to 1,000 motorbikes at their classic bike evening and 400 or 500 classic cars. It's also a venue and a lunch halt for a lot of major car runs. John Wright, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Good afternoon.
How did all this come about? Because, as I said, we're sat at a very, very nice, maybe possibly twee little tea rooms.
Ooh. Well, originally it started basically through a friend who started the bike nights. And the bike nights have been going since 2010. And one day he said, why don't we do a car night? Oh, that's okay, we'll do it on the same night. And then one or two people said, well, we can't do it on the same night. I've got a car as well as a bike. So that's how it started. We decided that we would do it on another Thursday evening, and the rest is history, as they say.
Because you get some serious numbers, don't you?
We do. I think the first year we did it, which was 2015, we ended up with about 20, 30 cars. But the good thing is, those 20, 30 cars still come to the evenings that we have now. And
there's just a lot of follows on, isn't there?
There's just a lot follows them, yeah. And it's a bit of everything as well, we can span 100 years of motoring quite easily. Anything from a World War One Crossley officer's guard to a modern day Ferrari. But again, everybody tells us has a story to tell. Every car has a story to tell, and we a very broad church. We accept everybody.
Yeah, you're not proud.
I think we just like to see that everybody has a good time. Yeah. Basically, I mean, as people know who come to these dues, it's free.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing. You don't charge anybody for it.
We don't charge, no.
We're sat here in the paddock, which is the large marquee, where on the nights there's a hog roast, there's a bar, there's everything else. So you can turn up in your car and have your tea and a few beverages at the same time.
Yeah, you can. And the cafe, what we always say is that the cafe never closes until the last car or bike goes. So there's no need for people to rush to get here. I mean, we go till... We've had people here gone 10 o'clock some nights.
Yeah, because, it starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which for a lot of people, if they're at work, they can't get...
No, that is the big problem. We can't produce any more ground. And just by starting a bit early, it just gives us that option of people spacing it out a little bit, giving people the option to come, take a look, disappear, and then as people finish work, we've got a new audience.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is you attract a lot of car clubs doing rallies and navigation runs as the lunchtime halt.
Well, this is incredible, is this? Because I can remember as a teenager going up into Oakshead, into Grisdale Forest to watch the RAC.
When it was a proper rally. Look, we had a rally because we had a ball anymore now.
And then some 30 years later, we're blessed with the likes of Ian Grinrod stood on our ramp. And it's like, we've gone a full circle. There was us trolling into the lakes to see the RAC back in the day, with these top drivers and navigators. And there we go. We must be doing something right.
Well, you mentioned the ramp. When you come here, one of the first things to greet you is a good old-fashioned Mia Miglia-style starting ramp, which currently is playing host to your Sunbeam Talbot 90. Though it didn't do the Monte Carlo, given your passion for Sir Stirling Moss and such like, it looks like a proper, genuine ex-Monte Carlo rally car.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll ever do the Monte in it, but I'm hoping to do the Tour of Cheshire.
Yeah.
Several years ago, I got involved with the Henry Surtees Foundation.
Yeah.
And with John Surtees down at Brooklands. And I met this nice chap down there called Martin Fath. I think he was Janetta, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
And he says, come and do the Tour of Cheshire. You can use my Lancia.
Yeah.
And so we did.
Which one?
The Fulvia.
All right. Nice little cars with them.
And we ended up, I absolutely loved it, loved the event, absolutely fantastic day. And the navigator that day was a chap you might know called Andy Port.
Oh, yeah.
Ilka Karkov, I think.
Of which I'm a member.
All right. And I think we've finished a very respectable third.
Yeah.
And so that was it.
Was this your first event?
It was the first time I'd done a rally like that, yes.
Well done.
Yeah. So hence why we got the Sunbeam, and the idea was to restore it and to do events like that. Yeah. But these events have taken over. I don't get much time in the garage now, that's the only trouble. But there we go.
But I was saying you get a lot of lunch, like places for a navigation rally or a rally as a lunch halt.
Yep.
Or stop for breakfast, or where they finish. So there's, besides the static shows, there's a lot of what you might call rolling events.
Well, basically, we set off, we do 6 bike nights, 6 car nights, and from that, we have spin-off events.
Yeah.
And the spin-off events normally take place at weekends. And I think last year we did 29 events.
Yeah.
And we deal with about 32, 33 different motoring clubs.
Yeah. So now you have the Vintage Sports Car Club currently.
Yeah. Pendle, Crib Road District, Lancashire, Preston, whole host of car groups as well, like Porsches and the Morgan freewheelers, to the Audi A2s. We cater for everybody.
Yeah,
cater for everybody. And now we're getting established as a venue which we can cater for.
Yeah,
because 20, 30 cars is easy to cater for.
Yeah,
when we used to deal with 250. So it's actually quite...
So it's only 30 turn up, you look out and think, where's the rest of them?
Yeah, where's the rest of them? We could do 2 or 3 different events a day. But I do enjoy the competitiveness of it. I enjoy the people that come on these events. We enjoy actually putting these events on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's an awful lot of places that will cater for these sort of events.
Well, I know a lot of car clubs struggle. That's why certain ones... for example, the Lancashire Automobile Club, they use Mittenfold Farm, which is a big hotel. And because it's one of the... They struggle to find venues that can cope with, at times, 80 cars, and most of the cars have 2 occupants, so that's 160 people, and most places struggle to look after this number of cars.
Well, we're quite fortunate out there because we are farmers, we produce our own meats, we use our own meats, so we're catered. We're already catering for that sort of thing. So we do the county shows, various agricultural shows. Yeah. So it's in our, it's in house.
Yeah,
everything that we do here, really. So,
and the other thing is with the bikes, you're well in with Ducati, aren't you?
This year, yes, we had BMW last year, and Ducati wanted to come on board, and Ducati come from Manchester and Preston. A chap you might know, Wayne Kershaw.
Yeah.
Wayne from Preston, he brings the exhibition unit up, and they bring the bikes and the demo rides, But we also have Triple D from Kendal, which does the off-road bikes.
Yeah.
And the local shop called Lancaster Motorcycles. They do a range of different bikes and do all the service and MOT. And so we try and keep it in-house. But also the idea of these events is we raise money.
Yeah.
And on the bike nights, we raise money for the North Western Lakes airborne bikes.
Yeah.
And on the car nights, it's for the air ambulance.
Right.
So,
But besides this, you're a keen motorist, aren't you?
oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
tell us more.
Tell you more. Well, basically, my grandparents, or my grandfather, was really interested in cars and bikes, and he used to mechanic for a chap called Brian Jackman, who was TT rider, did the hill climbs, the Oivers Mount.
Yeah.
And so we've always had a passion for cars from a young age. My grandfather once took me and my brother to the RSC at Chatsworth, and back in the good old days, mid-80s.
They were the Sundays. They used to put these on. The drivers, believe it or not, hated them because they didn't consider it proper rallying, sliding round tarmac between trees and ornamental ponds and everything else. All the spectators loved them.
So when we came back and we got off the motorway at Lancaster, and I think round every corner from Lancaster back to the farm, the tyres were screeching on this Vauxhall Chevette. And you could just imagine we were just beaming, and I guess that's where it really started. And also my mother and my grandfather used to go to Aintree, to the Grand Prix, when Moss, Clark, those sort of guys were racing. So even my mother has a passion for some of the racing, and it's just rubbed off. I could never thought...
I mean, it was wasn't years ago. It's like your Sterling Moss, to mention him again, and everything else. The parents were heavily involved in everything because motoring and motorsport, yes, it was expensive then, it's expensive now. But it was definitely a family affair.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate as kids because we grew up on a farm. And although I couldn't afford to go rallying, motocross was the cheapest form of motorsport I could afford to do. So I did that for 2 or 3 years. And but always had a passion for cars. My grandfather would take us to Barben, to the hill climb, and one day I was determined that one day I'd do it.
You'd do it.
And I've done it twice since, and so that's worked absolutely fine. We've had some nice cars in the past. We've had Aris 2000, some old Capris, Austin 7s, things like that. But
I bet you shouldn't send the RS 2000. Proud of them things now.
I mean, back in the
40 grand for something in boxes and buckets.
Yeah, I mean, you just know I've been extremely lucky to be around some really nice people, some good people. We did a lot of work at a garage not far from here, and a local rally driver, who was a big friend of Dave Metcalf's, who famously had his car pinched the eve of the RSC rally back in the early 90s, Bob Green. And then I ended up helping, or just very occasionally helping out with another local rally driver called Phil Burton from Kirby with his Escort. Just getting involved by just, pay for an odd tyre or an odd bit. And to me, that was my way of having some involvement.
Yeah.
And that really is how it started. Really. And we'd go to Moulton Park, watch the Gold Cup. And then through the 90s, F1, I was just an absolute F1 nut. Yeah. I'm not saying as keen as it now as I was back then.
I think it's safe to say a lot of people aren't quite as keen as they...
Yeah. I mean, again, when the RSC, go back to the RSC, we were sort of fortunate in the early 90s. We've got a Ford dealership just down the road. We had the Works Ford cars there one night. We had the garage just a few hundred yards down the road, had the Toyota team there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the real heart of it here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where we are in the little village of Ray, it's like Lancaster, you've got Cumbria, you've got Yorkshire. I mean, it's where what you might call the 3 counties come together. And when there was some proper rallying, you were like in the heart of it, weren't you?
And I think also, because we're on the edge of the Forest of Board now, going back to what you said before about the rallies like the Hot Pot Rally and one or two others, the Andy Mort Rally, is that they've got the roads around here for these sort of events now.
Yeah.
And the guys back in the day that would do these Cumberland rallies, and we're all a bit longer in the tooth now, but we can we're in the right place. That's what we're saying.
Well, the great thing is there's a lot of car clubs now, like another one local to you, the Morecambe Car Club.
Yes.
They used to host a lot of the motoring news rallies, like the Illumination.
Yes, that's a little bit before my time, is that?
But what they've been able to do, and a lot of the car clubs have been able to do, is take their original stage notes and recreate them as daytime navigation runs.
Yeah.
And a lot of the drivers who've come and done them as a daytime event have always said, if I'd have known about them drops over there, I wouldn't have driven that fast when I was doing nighttime jobs.
Yeah, and like I say, it stands us in good stead for hosting these lunchtime events, halts, and whatever. And the ramp just gives it a bit of an element to the feel of,
Well, no, the first time I came, I was quite surprised to have to drive my Morgan onto a starting ramp. I thought, what's going on around here?
Yeah, we just knocked it together. But I mean, the point is to do something a little bit more spectacular. But I think we've got the basis for building it as a venue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a nice venue. The one thing is, it's very nice. It's very scenic, but you've a lot of land. So when the cars pull in, you're not wondering where to put them.
Yeah. I think that the thing to do is to treat everybody the same. Whether it's the Tramstag Owners Club or the Morgan Freewheelers or the Porsche Owners Club, we try and treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
Irrespective of what they're driving. And a lot of the time it catches them out and they don't expect it.
Yeah.
The effort we put into it.
Yeah.
And it does take a bit of time and a bit of effort, but I think it's well worth it when you see the smiles on the face and we weren't expecting this. But that's what we try and do.
And you also, like I said, you get a nice meal and, well, you can have a pint of beer if you want, but you can also have the pot of tea that one might expect to find at a tea room.
Yes, yeah. Well, again, you've got the beauty of the hog roast, as you said, and the griddle, or the delights of the cakes, sandwiches inside. So we've got the best of both worlds. But on the bike nights, typically we don't sell much alcohol at all, obviously. But the average age now of a motorcyclist now is about 62.
You were saying that at your point before we went on it, and I was quite stunned at that.
Yeah. It's a fantastic array of age groups, and it's not until we take the helmets off you realise, the age of some of these riders. But again, the courtyard behind the marquee here, we can fill now with 80 to 100 classic and vintage bikes on a bike night.
Yeah,
and it's almost like two shows in one.
Yeah,
we've got all the adventure bikes outside. And out the back of the marquee, we've almost got another a classic bike show in itself.
Yeah. Now, the one thing you do, I know for a fact you like going to Goodwood and places like that. So, the Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms Classic Car and Bike venue goes further afield than its own location, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, basically, in 2014, 2015, so around about there, I got involved with a chap and who was well connected, just purely by chance, got invited down, and that linked up with the Henry Surtees Foundation.
Yeah.
So we used to go down to Brooklands for that on a yearly basis, and then I was invited to the 60th anniversary of the New Amelia.
Oh yeah.
With Sterling and Yock and Mass.
Yeah.
And a car I had at the time there, an Austin 7, which had done the Barb Hill climb. They said, would I take it to the event? And because Sterling had learned to drive in these Austin 7s back in the day, would I take it? Absolutely. So it was a beautiful day. We got up about 6 o'clock in the morning, made sure the car started as it did, drove it round Brooklands.
Yeah.
Drove it onto the banking at Brooklands, and went round the back of Mercedes Road. And what's there? Parked one side of the road, but 722.
722.
722.
Sterling and Jinx's car.
Not 658, but 722.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And these guys that brought this car, there was a 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
With the two cars side by side. Absolutely incredible. I had to pinch myself.
Yeah.
So, and it went from there. And so I got involved with that day. Again, Sterling came out and said, I remember these cars very well, blah, blah, blah. I used to do. And Susie was there, and absolutely fantastic. I mean, I really did have to pinch myself.
Yeah.
And then we got involved with
I mean, just suddenly I've been fortunate enough to be in the company of the late Sir Sterling Moss on quite a few occasions at various events. There's also a nice bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that he'd done what he'd done,
Yeah.
for best term, didn't really enter into it. It was, if he was with racing and car lovers and car fanatics, that was all he needed.
Well, like we touched on then, I mean, not only I did things with Sir Sterling, but with John Surtees, who I think was a real true gent. I mean, he used to talk to you as if he was your grandfather. I mean, I mean, you could sit and have a cup of tea with him. It was fantastic. I mean, that opened up doors with Damon Hill and Derek Bell.
Yeah.
And then Richard Noble and one or two others. And then you think, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then I went to the British Automobile Club at Epsom.
Yeah.
To a do with Nigel Mansell. And as we
Who's now cracking on. He's just recently...
Yeah, And again, I thought, oh, this is, all booted up, suited and booted. And as we walked into the Automobile Club, he shook his hand and what have you. And it was basically a meal and a question section with Simon Turner.
Yeah.
Taylor, sorry. And so we sat down and whatever, and they did the question and answers and whatever. And then he got up and said, when everybody came in this evening, I shook everybody's hand, didn't I? And everybody went, yeah. And he held up his hand and he had this cross on the bottom of his palm of his hand. He said, just check your hands, he says, because he says, somebody in here has got the same thing. Look at me if it wasn't on the mind. And he came over and he presented the table decoration at the time, which was his championship-winning car from F1 92 and the car from 93. And also invited us to his go-kart circuit down in Exmouth.
Yeah.
And we had a day down there with him. And my youngest son at the time couldn't believe it. Here he is, a 14-year-old lad. He's got Nigel Mansell showing him how to take a corner in a kart. and again, it's like, well, how it's all evolved.
You tend to find with motorsport, or I've always found, it's the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
But you'll meet certain people, and all of a sudden they'll say, have you ever met such a body? No. And next news, you're stood in the presence of some of the legends of motorsport, be it circuit racing or rallying or whatever.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because in this village here, a couple moved into the village, and we're builders by trade, and we did some work on his house, and he said, I'm thinking of buying this other property, would you be interested? So, yeah, we'll come and have a look. And there, he then tells me that he drives the historic Formula Junior cars. So then later that summer we end up down at Silverstone Classic with the pit boards. And again, even he started pinching himself. We ended up at Croft. And a chap called Peter Anstis, who used to work for British Aerospace, who races a Lotus 2022.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. They were great days. And then, because we had the Austin 7...
have you still got it?
Yes, I still got it, yeah.
Does it go?
It does go, yeah. And it's got that beautiful signature on the bonnet.
Right.
It's a Sterling.
Moss.
Yeah. And then we were lucky enough to be invited to Silverstone with the 750 Motor Club.
Oh, yeah. That club does an enormous amount.
It does. Well, we'd done the British Grand Prix the same year, and we went to the revival, and we also got to drive the Austin round Silverstone.
Yeah.
So for my eldest son to drive around the Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone and me as a passenger, that was, for me, that was the icing on the cake.
You also realise, there's a French friend of mine, who races his Austin 7 at Le Mans.
Yeah.
You realise how slow you're going at times, don't you?
You do, but I didn't care, honestly. Just that should be...
And also how vulnerable you might be when you're in a little...
Yeah. So we did that, and then that's how we got involved with working at Goodwood.
Yeah.
And we've done the members' meet this year, and...
You don't provide his due with hog roast, do you?
We don't, no. We did get to the ball last year. That was quite interesting, because we ended up talking to the chairman of Rolls-Royce, Torsen there. And, but, yeah, it's phenomenal, is Goodwood. I love the revival. We worked there now for 3 years. This will be our 4th.
What is it you do there?
Well, believe it or not, the first year I was looking after Sterling's cars.
Right.
Following his death, and they had a celebration of Sterling's life. So that was quite fitting. I enjoyed that. And then since then we've been doing a bit with Sir Jackie.
Oh yeah, Sir Jackie Stewart.
Yeah. So
And his race against dementia.
yes. And so, one thing's just led to another.
Yeah.
And we'll go from here, from the car night, from the bike night in September, straight down after bike night's finished, straight on the motorway. Another good one for 5 o'clock in the morning. You start work at 12. So we're keen. Absolutely are keen, yeah.
So what else is likely to happen here? I mean, have you ever thought of running your own rallies as such? They are a vast undertaking of running these events, but instead of being a venue they call at, have you ever thought of one that they start and stop at?
Well, as well as the cars, we have one or two vintage motorcycles.
Yeah.
And we do...
You're a bit of a dark horse.
In a dark horse.
Well, before we carry on, what exactly have you got, boy?
Well, we have an old 1925 BSA round tank.
Yeah.
Which was really one of the first affordable bikes.
Yeah.
But it enables us to do what's known as the Banbury Run.
Yeah.
And one or two Girder Folk runs for the VMCC.
Yeah.
So we do one or two VMCC events, and we do the Banbury Run, which some of you may have seen on the Henry Cole, the bike show.
Yeah.
Because Henry Cole did it this year. Got to say, we passed him, broke down on the side of a rock. But
oh dear, what a pity.
But to be fair, that isn't a cracking event. And absolutely, we've done that 3 or 4 times now, and long may it continue. Absolutely brilliant. So I'd like to do something. I'd like the VMCC to do something here. And pretty much, there's just really me doing the events. And I do need help. I should say, I do get help from several friends, parking cars and various other things. I think to organise an event here, I can manage that quite comfortably on my own. Once I get out onto the road organising a rally or something like that, there's a lot more involved. There's a lot more people out there with a lot more experience than what I would have. I'd love to do a VMCC run from here. I think we've got the roads.
Well, the other thing about vintage motorbikes, not being funny, they're not that fast at times, are they? Or from certain ones. 60, 70 miles is probably just about nice for them.
Yeah. So I think we could cater for something like that. We've started now, as you probably know, we do the motorsport show in July, on the July car night, which really started off as a bit of a just a pot shot, really. We thought, well, let's invite a few rally cars down and other things that people compete in, whether it's, stock cars, rally cars, anything like that, clubman's cars. So we did that, and it really took off.
Yeah.
With some historic juniors, courtesy of Peter and Martin, and we also had a chap called John Graham who brought his Formula 3000.
Yeah.
So suddenly we had some serious cars.
Yeah.
And the weather was fantastic, and a lot of the people said that it was the first time they'd all been together non-competitively with the cars. So it was a really good social. So we did that again this year in July, and we had another fantastic evening. So I think that's here to stay. Well, the
other thing is, like you said, you have a cross-section of historic rally cars, but you'd all the way through to modern British Championship rally cars, proper, fully prepared rally cars.
Yeah, and we've also got a local driver called David Wright, which some of you may have heard of, who's up in Bentham, who drives the ex-Carlos Sainz, Lewis Moyer, WRC Focus.
Yeah.
You may remember the bit at Goodwood where he smashes the polystyrene signs as he came out into the start straight. So last year at Goodwood, he took me around the rally stage in the R5.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we broke a diff on the way around, but that was quite an incredible experience as well. So again, just been in the right place at the right time. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you started, did the 3 years lockdown? I mean, how did you ride that? Or were you able to help do anything with that?
No,
a lot of events went online and things like that.
Yeah. No. How can you tell me in the countryside here? That, folks, is a tractor number. That's a PS6 cylinder, straight Biden there.
And then we go. We do tractor shows as well. We do 2 classic tractor shows.
Do you?
Yeah, yes. So we've got a third this September. Yeah, on the 24th of September. So there's
I mean, it's one of those things, it might sound strange, but there's a serious following for classic tractors.
There is, absolutely. Yeah, there is. And the trouble is the modern ones, you see, got too much technology on them.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, I just a quick offshoot. I was in a brand new John Deere about 18 months ago.
yeah.
And apart from starting it up, you actually didn't have to do anything. It knew where it was.
Yeah.
You more or less told it where you wanted it to go. You told it what you wanted it to do. And you just sat back in this great big leather armchair. There was a television. There was all sorts of stuff. And it just potted around and did it quite happily on its own.
Yeah, it's
Not exactly a little grey for
how things have changed. I know when I was growing up in the 70s, we got 1 or 2 new tractors, and my dad used to say there was nothing like that when I was a lad.
The other cab, that was like a serious advancement.
With a pony, yeah. But I mean, and now, I mean, today, I mean, we still farm, but I mean, the technology in the tractors today, see, you know, a mechanic can't fix it. You know, you need to be a IT engineer.
Well, the thing is, round where we are at the moment, there will be smallish tractors because small roads, small gateways
Yes.
don't actively encourage these great big John Deeres or Cases or Massey Fergies. They're all the tiddlers.
But yeah, no, we I think going back to the events, we try and cater for all sorts, but we will hopefully build on it. But as far as the pandemic is concerned, we worked with Lancaster City Council to get it open again.
Yeah.
And because we were outside, we had a bit of an advantage. And then we started in the June, I think it was.
Yeah.
We lost all 2020, as we know. In 2021, as soon as June came,
Yeah.
you couldn't see a blade of grass on here for bikes. It was absolutely incredible, it was.
Yeah.
And
Well, folk were looking to get out, weren't they?
Yeah.
Which as time went by, everybody realised we should have been let out in the first place.
yeah, and I think today it's still as popular, and it's gone to another level.
Yeah.
And having Ducati on board and 1 or 2 other people, it just gives something for people to see. But I'll go back to it. We're free. It's free.
Yes.
You know, we're not taking £10, £15 off people to come and look. And when you look round, it's quite interesting because people take photographs and what have you. Is that it's amazing how many people walking around with their children and their kids or having a picnic.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a bigger picture than seeing 800 motorbikes or 250 cars. It's the atmosphere it's created.
Yeah. I mean, how do the good burghers of Ray, the village of Ray, go on? Because it is tiny, and all of a sudden, all these cars come trundling through.
We do. Well, as a rule, it's 6 times a year.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ideas of spacing the hour a bit from 2 till 10 is that we're not getting all the vehicles through the village at one time.
Yeah.
They don't all come through the village. They come from the Bentham side as well. But we invite the groups within the village, with the scouts or the preschool, the church, chapel. If they want to come and do a tombola or something like that to raise money for their group, they're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
So we've got to accommodate everybody. We're going to keep everybody happy. The events on the weekends, as you know, if it's only 20, 30 cars, that's quite easy.
Yeah.
But on a hot summer's night, if we do get upwards of 700, 800 bikes, all we can do is ask people to respect the village.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Ride or drive slowly when they leave.
We do, but we harping back to before when we were talking about the start of the bike night. The bike night started actually 5 years earlier than the car night.
Yeah.
In 2010 by a chap called Peter Foster. Now Peter's no longer with us, but since Peter's passing, we raised money at these events to buy the Northwest Bus bikes a bike.
Yeah.
In Peter's name. So a lot of the village donated to that, as well as other people as well. So we've given something back, to the community. And a long way might continue.
Yeah.
But we do have to work with the villagers, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the other thing is on very, very busy nights, some of the pubs might benefit from when they go, if they go home, they might have something here and then go, well, we'll go and have a meal at such and such a pub.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't really see that side of it because we're that focused on what goes here. And we are blessed with some fantastic weather. I mean, we can probably count on one hand the amount of nights that we've actually been rained off. And we've done over, I think I had a look before, just before you came, about 153 events we've done.
Right.
So, over the years.
Yeah.
And so we're experienced in it now. We know what can cause trouble and how to sort of deal with it, I think.
Yeah.
And as the events grow, we're trying different things. We had Steve Parrish here last month.
Right.
Steve was doing a talk, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do something else and just diversify a little bit, and so it's something for everybody.
Can you not get any of your good one mates to come up?
Duncan Pitaway.
All right.
I'd love Duncan to come next year. We've got our 50th car night next year.
Yeah.
So to have the Beasted Turin fire up outside the team would really put the icing on the cake.
It would actually, because that is a serious piece of machinery.
It is, yeah, it is, and it would be well worth seeing as well. I've been quite fortunate to be, to sit in it and to be right up to it, but for people to actually hear it fire up, it's quite an incredible piece of kit, really.
Now, the other thing is, this isn't your first time technically on the on Dry Stone Radio, because you now contact our breakfast presenter and tell him there's events going on.
Well, yes, I do. Simply because you make it so easy for people to do that. I wish a lot of the other radio stations would, but we do have some help from Radio Lancashire. There's a chap there who's quite keen on promoting one of the events, but we do now, because the Allenby events have grown. We get people coming from Carlisle, Leeds, York, Ripon. So we have quite a big audience from the Yorkshire side of the border, which we're only 2 miles away from. And having met yourself once or twice before, it just seems only logical, really, to put the word out there.
Yes. If somebody does want to find out about Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms classic car and bike events venue, another plug, how do they go on doing it?
Basically, the easiest thing is to go onto Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's the Bridge House Tea Rooms classic car and bike events page.
Yeah.
And that links you to an email address, and you can email us and phone us from there, or pop down to one of the events. We've got the Classic Car Night a week on Thursday.
Yeah.
This Sunday we've got a Classic Bike Show from 11 till 3 this Sunday. So there's plenty of scope there for people to come and see us.
Or they could just go round for a cup of tea.
They could go for a lovely cup of tea and indulge in some nice cakes and sandwiches and meals in the tea rooms. Yes, absolutely.
John Wright, it's been a pleasure chatting to you. Thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
Thanks, Luke. Thank you.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hoddy Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hoddy Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddytyres.co.uk.